Good evening. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday night, so it's time for mental mind treatments with psychic impression. I welcome you all here today, and as usual, I have an insight card, and it's written by the Peace Pilgrim. Small card. I certainly am a happy person. How could one know God and not be joyous? And you can, in the name of, in place of God, you can use any name of a deity or an energy that you would like. On the other side, it says, feeling is healing. When I share my feelings honestly and sincerely, I am real. And I think that's actually very accurate. If you share your feeling, if you're sincere, some people talk about feelings and they're not really sincere about them, and that's a different story at all. So I want to welcome you that tuning in maybe for the first time. I do want to say I've had an email. In the last few months, we have done a lot of mental mind treatments for Karen Lee's mother, Margaret. I want to inform those that have watched, and maybe not everybody is on right now, but her mom passed away on Thursday. And so I wanted to say love and blessings as she moves through her transition away from fear and into light and love. And those that will remember the treatments we did, there was just so much fear. And they basically sent her home from the hospital today and she just didn't die. So I just wanted to know that we send her lots of love as she moves forward. I also want to do a treatment, mental mind treatment, for a friend of mine who has found out he has liver cancer that is metastasized. And I said that what I would do is do a healing for him. And although he didn't give me any numbers, I picked 3 because I do like to work with that. And what came to me were the numbers 10, 17, and 3. 10 says to be at the center of all the changes that go around. And so, because it is, he talked to me when he just found out and he was really, really upset, which I understand. So, by being a center is to allow all that upsetness go around. And 17 is about finding a balance. This man is a healer. And so by finding his balance and working with himself as well, because that's what he needs to do. And the 3 is the love showing and loving oneself. And I absolutely just know that the love is there for him and his healing. So I'm just going to move into treatment. This is somebody I have known for a lot of years. As I move into the treatment and come and I speak my word for my word as I am connected to that loving force of love and essence. And I speak my word for Ted. As I speak my word for Ted, I know that the healing process is on, that everything is in its right place at the right time. And in knowing how that works, that sometimes we go through certain elements to experience a deeper or a more connection and a more awareness of our faith and of our awareness of where we're heading, of where we're going, and what we're doing. I know that whatever Ted needs in relation to his healing and to a different awakening, which I see the 17th bringing, is that the lovingness of the I'm going to say of the universe, of the world, of the element, can come in to do the healing that is necessary. We don't always know what part of us needs healing or what needs the most healing, but I trust that the universe does know that, and that whatever is designed will be done. I give thanks in the knowing of this. I give thanks in the knowing that the healing of whatever needs to be done will be done as I release this thought by saying, and so it is. Amen. I also had a text from Kayla, who was going to be busy with something else and wasn't sure she'd make it on time here at all. and asking for ongoing healing, both physically and spiritually. She isn't giving me any numbers, but I'm going to just put 3 numbers down right now. And again, number 3, of course, the loving vibration, but 21 and 20 as well, which shows the balance and the acceptance of things as they are. And I'm just going to say anything before I move into treatment. No matter where we are, the acceptance of whatever is going on or whatever is happening is paramount, is one of the most important elements in your healing journey, is because the healing that needs to be done. And so I'm just noticing, can you just hold a second? I can't believe I did that. I thought I turned the radio off, which it's my TV. And then isn't that, now that is interesting. Something that I spent deliberately to turn off, and it wasn't turned off, but it was quiet. And then it started again. So, and I don't have 20-foot arms. I have long arms, but not that long. So now we got quiet. And also on the picture in the back, that's what triggered my mind to that, was the little green square that was showing up on my picture back there. And that's the TV showing up. Anyway, let me go back and that was a very good segue of having me totally forget what I was talking about. Yeah, acceptance of where we're at is so important in any kind of growth or spirituality. So I'm going to speak my word for Kayla, knowing that acceptance and balance and love is the most important. Self-awareness of how much energy one has, how much energy one can do, or how much energy to be able to work at. As I move into treatment, I speak my word for Kayla. And the one thing I do know, that Kayla understands treatment very, very well. I know, as I speak in the present, that Kayla is ongoing her healing, both physically and spiritually, and actually in all ways that is there. She's coming to terms with how to accept limitation, and also to balance the life so that the life works with greater ease. And in that greater ease, the lovingness of the self, as well as life, and an understanding of how the wonderful loving force works, there is this element of growth and progress, because the important thing for Kayla is that she understands her limits, that she can accept them and still enjoy and be happy and be aware. I give thanks in the knowing this, as I release this thought, knowing it is true and is done, that there is peace and balance and understanding with the acceptance of universal love. And so it is. Amen. So now I'll come to here. Marion says, good evening. And I hit the thumbs up. And blessings to everyone. She always says blessings to all. Karen Lee. Hi, Norma. Happy to see you. I would love a treatment for whatever comes to you. Thank you. And I also did a little treatment for I probably right in the beginning for your mom, mentioning she had passed. And I did a treatment there. So you may want to go back at some point and listen. But it doesn't really matter. I just feel very happy because of her transition. I really do, because I know that she was resisting. Okay, what are the numbers you've given me here? Is 22 and oh my goodness. Okay, just about the same numbers that I had for Kayla, that I chose for Kayla, just in a little different order. Okay, this tells me that you are ready to balance your life. And 22 is actually faith, having faith to move forward, having faith to move out. And I did a lesson. Isn't that interesting? A talk on Wednesday about faith, because I had been asked to, and I'm going to do a continual number 2 this coming Wednesday. So 9:00 in the morning, because I realized when I I listened back, and I realized there was one aspect I left out. So I'm going to talk about that. So, okay, what we've got here, Karen Lee, is Faith. Faith to move forward, to move mountains. To also, I think, in faith, some ways, because it's the fool, when we think of the fool moving forward, even though he has his little comic bag on his back, so to speak, carries it with his there's lots of symbolism in the fool. But even though he's going forward and looks like he's walking off the end of a cliff, the reality is that he understands. He understands who he is. He accepts the faith that no matter what occurs, that his pathway is always supported by love. So if he steps off the edge of the cliff, love is there to support him and bring him forward, because he has that understanding, because if 21 is the balance of the world, having it all together, having it in a sense of being. There is that sense, Karen Lee, I think in a way that now you're set free, and that you have this wonderful ability now to move forward and to using your own lovingness without being tied up somehow. It's just free. I just feel freedom. I feel freedom here. So in treatment, as we move into treatment, I speak my word for Karen Lee. As I speak my word for Karen Lee, I know that as it's like the bounds that have bound you up for so long are set free, there is a sense of celebration, not to feel guilty about, but to celebrate the freedom to be as free and as knowing as you are, to exercise your element of love however you want it to show up in the world. It feels like a time of getting used to this freedom, and I still feel there's a fear of maybe guilt coming in, that you feel so free. Just breathe it out. I just feel that the energy of the love of the three just wants to come in and fill all the spaces that have been worried and concerned. And what are we going to do? And how are we going to do it? And is this ever going to end? Yes, it's ended. Breath. Because now we can fly. Now we can achieve and move forward, unless we want to encase ourselves in a binding of something else or someone else. There is freedom to actually move forward in the direction that you want. I give thanks in the knowing of this, that Karen, to a degree, has been set free to fly, to be absolutely love in all that she does and all that is around her, so that there is like watching a beautiful tree blossom and bloom and will bear fruit. So there is more to come that can be very exciting, pleasurable, and aware, as you give yourself now time to regenerate the flowers, and so they can bear fruit that you can enjoy within your life in so many great and wonderful ways. And so we release this thought, knowing it is true and it is done, by saying, and so it is. Amen. Maggie G. Hello, Norma. Thumbs up. I have been feeling weepy lately. 9, 7, and 10. Okay. Thank you. I think there's something going on, because I've been, myself has been quite weepy, but I can excuse that in some ways for myself. But the truth is, when we go through transition, when we go through an awareness, when we've come to some understanding, or we're looking at something, which is the 9s and 7s and 10s we've got here, you've got a lot of change happening. You've got 9 that is like the Hermit. I'm just going to give you some tarot elements, because you can always look those up and if you want. 9, the Hermit. The Hermit says the answer lies within. Number 7, though, is interesting, because it's the end of the first lot of the 7. And that is letting go of the old thoughts, old awarenesses, and sometimes people. So it's about letting go and moving forward. And 10 says, be like the hub of the wheel, because it's the wheel of fortune. You need to be like the hub of the wheel, not on the wheel. If you're on the wheel, it feels like you have no power, you have no control. It's just spinning out of everything. And I just feel here, because of the weepiness, because I understand that. I've had that often in my life. Things get over. I've been feeling until the last few weeks really overwhelmed by certain things that are going on that you don't know what to do. It just feels bigger than you. I just thought it was my age. But anyway, what I see here and what I'm going to treat for, Maggie, is that you listen to the deep part of yourself, not about anybody else, but who you are, and that you can move forward into what may look chaotic, but if you hold your center for where you want to end up, because none of this is shows about endings. It's all about a change and about maybe not knowing where you're going or what's happening. So let's see what comes out in treatment. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know as I speak my word into this for Maggie, I know that clarity is going to be important. I know within the clarity, it's like we find our answer, or and your answer, Maggie, we find the answer of what it is about. And I will speak in the I think, on this one, because it's like I'm claiming you in this moment of time of understanding the depth that you have within yourself of what it is you really truly not only want but need. And in that, you're able to let go of that which does not work anymore. And that could be people, that could be circumstances, that could be beliefs, attitudes, and judgments. And that in that, you're able to move to this greatest sense of your own power. And as you step in your own power, it's like everything else pulls away so that you're able to move forward. This is all about moving forward, not trying to hang on to what you have and know. And that's why the overwhelmingness, that's why the uncertainty, because it's the letting go. So cry to Christ sometimes because we let go of whatever it is we're not sure of. And then we come into strength. And when we come into strength, there is that sense. And in the center of that 10, that center that says there is more because we're strong and we can move forward, because this 10 is not moving at the moment. Nothing in here is moving. It's all stationary, but it needs movement. It means growth. It needs to have some idea of the direction or the next direction or the next awareness, the next thing that brings largeness, growth, progress, a different perspective. Look for change, I would say. Look for change. Don't stick to the old, but look for change. And there the doorways, the doors will open, the doorways will open, that you will move forward. And I look forward to seeing what next numbers you get next week or in a couple of weeks. Because if you stay stagnant, you know what happens when we get stagnant? Stagnant water starts smelling. And what happens is that everything implodes, and you need action here. There's no action. Everything is talking action except your 9, which says you know the answer. Everything else is get moving, get doing something, get it happening, because it'll make it easier, because it needs change. I give thanks in the knowingness that change enlightens, that change will open doors, that change will bring about reward. Brings reward. And I give thanks in knowing this for Maggie as she moves forward into the newness, into the wonder, and into the beingness. And so it is. Amen. Okay, blessings to you. Hang on. I'm just going to lose. If I don't go back up here a bit, I'll lose people. There we go. Karen, my dear Karen. Greetings, Norma. I would appreciate a treatment for being aligned with the essence of love. I'm smiling. Yes. I like the wording. Aligned with the essence. It almost brings a smell to me, actually. And I find that often in transformation work, when we're going really deeply, I get a scent, which is very nice. And we've got 13, 20, and 8. 13 is a death symbol, which shows rebirth, moving into new things. 20 is the acceptance of the newness. And 8 shows that you have the strength from above to put into the reality of the life in the moment. I think those words kind of show, I think if I remember rightly, and I could be incorrect on this, that there was the need to keep on moving, to keep on changing. You've gone through lots of growth, but also you needed this as well to keep going. And I think this is a sign that you're accepting that you're not at a full stop yet. Are we ever? But it's so the essence of love. The essence is about us. Okay, let me put it this way. I've had some really nice nectarines lately. And so when you take a bite of the fruit, there's juice. And that's where the flavor is in the juice. And when I look at this, it feels like the essence of love is about getting the juice from life, getting the juice from the situations, getting the juice of your transitions, of recognize that different fruits have different flavors. Sometimes also different textures. Oranges are different from nectarines, say, but there's juice. I think it's like you're looking at the juice of life. It's like squeezing the juice out of it. That's the essence. That's the essence of love. It has flavor. It gives body. All those things that fruit gives us. So let me just see what in the treatment comes out. Sorry, I've just got an itchy nose for a minute. I know the one power and the one essence, and I align with that, so I can speak my word for Karen as she works with being aligned with the essence of love. I also know that the lovingness that comes in reorganizes a lot, which what happens with inside. That's why the alignment with it. And to be aware of that alignment, that you are adjusting. Now, when you align with something and you want the essence of love, there is going to be something to let go. That's the 13. We let go of the old and move forward. And often we do not know where that's going to lead us. So therefore, in the leading of that, you're able to accept the wonder of the fragrance and the essence of love. You fill yourself up with it. So then everything needs to be working both from above and below to be balanced. We need balance in that. We can't just be off on our lovely journey of isn't this wonderful, because we're not dealing with practicality. We are in a physical body that deals with practicalities. We have to eat. We have to have a drink. My water's here. Drink. We have to not drink, but drink water or whatever else. And we have to know how to play that, put all that together. But my heart in this moment, it's like I feel tears in my eyes. I've got Maggie's tears, is that the joy of being able to feel the juice of the transition of love, to feel the element and the strength and the growing of love, and to be able to work with that, to balance it practically into life. So life gives us, like we become like a flower. And I see this beautiful, what are they? It's like just this beautiful flower, which the name escapes me for some reason, which I don't feel happy about. Lotus, that's what I was looking for. Beautiful lotus sitting on a water. I can see it. Pink, the few little string, it has a few little leaves that go down, not the leaves, roots that go down into the water. So you don't have to be part of the earth for this. You just have to be part of the essence, but we still have to balance it into our world. I give thanks in the knowing of this beauty. I give thanks in the unknowing of the awareness. I give thanks in the passage that you're doing, the passing into this knowledge and awareness. I am so thankful, and my heart feels full. And I truly say thank you, thank you, thank you as I release this, knowing that it is done, that you are walking this path, and it will bring you fragrance of life, the essence of life, if you like to call it the essence of love. I think the fragrance of life is something that I feel to me is very strong here as well. And so it is. Yes, which is very nice. Sorry, my brain is not, I didn't pulling out words, bang, bang, bang either. But that's life sometimes. Karen B. Blessings to you, Norma, and everyone this evening. May I please have a treatment with the numbers 13, 6, and 16? But no topic. Okay, I'll just go explain the numbers after I have a sip of water. I have after the fragrance of life. Yes, here we go. You realize we need water to live. Anyway, 13 is the death symbol, which is the progression, leaving behind the old, moving forward. 6 is confusion. Sometimes when we get little bits of knowledge here and knowledge there and knowledge where, we get confused about what exactly does everything mean and how to move it into balance. A lot of it is about being balanced. And 16 is if we don't understand that balance, then life itself takes care of it, usually not as nice as we would like it. So what I see here, Karen, is that in your transition, because we're transitioning, right? We're transitioning in knowledge. We're dealing with spiritual energy that is not like picking up food off a plate. It's about understanding how this energy works, understanding how we fit into it, how we understand in growth. With the 13, as we have the progression out of the old into the new, what this shows to me is that you're going to need to be aware, and I don't want to use the word careful, but I'm going to say that word. You need to be careful that you don't get confused, because you don't want life itself coming in and to sort of shake everything up for you to become aware. There's an awareness here. There's an awareness here that you're needing in the transition. And I think by looking at this and asking for some help, is that you need to be patient in the transition. Sometimes it is better to go slow by and sure than to try and rush to get there. This is not a sprint. Spirituality, growth, progress is not a sprint. Sometimes it feels like a sprint, like we have a big awakening, but I feel that's what's happening, but you want to sprint. Go slow. You're better to go slow and make sure it's grounded, you understand it, and you're aware. So let's do it this way in the treatment. I know there is one power and one essence, and I know as I speak my word for Karen B, that this transition has begun. There's no doubt about that. It's begun. And I almost hear the angels singing on that. But it's like, how do we learn all the bits and pieces? How do we let go of the old that doesn't quite fit into the new? How do we know if this is absolutely balanced or not? We don't. And the key is that life is always showing us, but we want it to be showing us gently. We want it to be showing us because we're going slowly, step by step by step. We're not going to the edge of the cliff and trying to jump off. We're going slowly on the path that leads us down the cliff. Yes. So we come to the river of life and then go, oh, I can drink these waters just fine. But to jump off the cliff to get to the waters sometimes doesn't go well. And so it is important to recognize that the energies of love, the energy, whatever you want to call love out there, with God or whatever name, I call it the universal love energy, is supporting you and wants it. But, Sometimes personal growth and personal love comes, we want it faster. We want to have it right now. But there's many stairs. There's a saying, there are many mansions in my, it's like they're talking about heaven. They're talking about many mansions in heaven. There are many ideals. There's many places. There's many awarenesses. And I think we don't rush. I found when people rush to grab hold of it and get it all, sometimes it's not as pleasant, can I say, as when we go slowly and surely and build a foundation that is so strong. The death, number 13, is the key here. And this is where, yes, you're on the correct path of growth. You're leaving behind the old, which does not work anymore. And so you step bit by bit by bit, but go do it slowly and equally. You can have a goal in your mind. This is where we're heading. I don't see that in the other two numbers. I see uncertainty and unsure, and you need to be careful of the emotional self getting caught up and not realize that these great emotions, joy, happiness, excitement, and then there's other kinds of emotion that can bind us and restrict us. So the journey gets harder. So as I talk in connection, what I just got is know, slow, and sure at this moment is the best for you. Slowly build the groundwork, slowly build the understanding, allow the energy to come in with the awareness. And I thank you, myself personally, for being here and being strong and willingness to come and put those numbers in and work slowly and gently and through to that strength that we see the other Karen just earlier is achieving. That's your goal. Slow, sure, assimilate, make sure it's exactly what you want and not just think because somebody says this is how it is, it is. That could be including me as well. But that's what I see and that's what I get in the essence of being slow and sure takes the prize. I give thanks in knowing that Karen B is strong, willing, desiring, and that she has the ability to not try and rush and push and jump off the cliff. And I give thanks in this knowing this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay. Okay, Oscar needs prayer tonight. Oh, that's the little dog. So Kayla is back on air and Oscar. You know, I know that your love for the dog that you're looking after right now, but I also know that there are times, and even with animals, there's a time when it comes time to let go. And when we cling too hard, it makes the going harder. The lovingness that you have for Oscar, and as you're with him and knowing whatever it is that's happening there for him, he's had a happy and for him a long life. And therefore, sometimes we just have to, put it out into, we'll say, God's hands. If it is meant for him to go at this time, that the only love will go with him, that he will make that transition, and that the lovingness that we have here embodied in our body and the love for those that come to take that soul of his with him will be to his advantage. But I think to yours also, because you'll know you've given him the best transition. I kind of feel from what I read and a feeling that I'm getting is that it's not immediate. There's still some time, but I want you to know the letting go part. Don't try and hold him here. Don't try and hold him. If it's time for him to make that transition, he's had a good long life. He's been a beautiful dog. You love him, and he can make that with ease. So all is as it is. And I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Okay. And she says, much love to everyone. And okay, let's see where we're going here. I think Karen Lee says, Karen. Oh, it's Kayla. Then Karen Lee says, thank you. Paulie, hang on. My new glasses coming soon. I think I'll be able to see better. Looks like it's smart. It looks like almost like a smart, but it's not there. 4 and 7 and 16. Hang on. You all know I'm getting new glasses, so I'm not peering through them. I'm moving my head way, way over to see. And I can't wait, but they're not here yet. And then I'll probably have trouble seeing because I won't be used to them. I was told this month is my month as a Cancer. Do you have any insight? 4, 7, and 16. Well, yeah, I couldn't have an insight. As a Cancer myself, I don't know, must be your Cancer might be different than my Cancer. So, yeah, birthdays were a couple of months ago now. Okay, 4. I like the way you say my months. I don't know in relation to what, though. I'm going to explain these numbers to you. If you know tarot cards at all, number 4 in the Higher Arcana is the Emperor, who's very stuck. Number 7, the Chariot, shows its readiness to leave behind the old and move ahead. But again, we've got a 16 here. 16 is not one of my favorites because it shows out of the blue something comes and we're thrusted out. And how we handle that is where the answer lies. Do we try and hold on to the old, or do we let go and embrace the newness that's coming in? What concerns me here is because you have 4 first. So I'm just going to talk philosophically for a moment. When we hold, let me see if I can do this with a pen. I don't know if it shows. I'm just going to hold it with one hand. I've got this pen here, which I write down. Now, if I hold on to it really tight, do you notice how my hand is, my fingers, and there's no room? The only way this pen could leave is to be pulled out or to drop below, but you'd still be clenched like this. We've got to be careful of what we're really stuck on, what it is we are holding on to tightly. This is holding on too tight. And also too tight can be beliefs, attitudes, judgments, assessments, people. Any situation that we're holding on to, we are not holding on with love. We're just holding on because we're used to it that way, or we want it to be that way. So it's not really a loving sense at all that goes on. Now, the other element that we see here is the 7 says the key is to leave this behind. And in the leaving it behind, we are now ready to move on. But it still doesn't say that we're moving on. It can be sometimes, and I hear this all the time, and we have it a lot here where people write in and they're there, but they're not doing the action to move on or to let go. We'll say letting go. 16, do I want to move on yet? No, I don't quite want to move on yet. Sorry. So when we have something that we're holding on to, and remember, it can be a belief, it can be an attitude, it can be a person, a circumstance, but we're holding on too tight. It could be just our judgments we hold on too tight. It's supposed to be this way, or it's supposed to be that way. Someone tells us something, and it's like, well, that's how it's going to be. And yes, things are changing. It's all going to be new. Everything is going to be fine, but there's no action in here until we get to 16 when it comes out of the blue, and it's not, we have no control over it. What do we have control over in that particular symbol is whether we fall away or whether we take it and we work with it. That's maybe what's happening and what's going on. What I would say here, I'm going to pray for you on my mental mind treatment for clarity and awareness. So let's see what happens. I think that's how we got to go. But, I'm given words to say more than anything. There is one power and there is one essence, whatever name we call it, whatever our belief of that is. And that power loves us beyond measure. And sometimes we forget that. We are loved beyond measure. And so when we have transitions happening in our lives, we we often welcome them with open arms and open hearts. And often we don't, because it's not what we're used to, or it's not what we expect. One thing I pick up here is there's an expectation of what that's going to look like. And very often I find us, when we have an expectation that this is how it's going to be, that's not how it's going to be at all, because there's often a bigger message in here. The biggest message I can see here is the letting go. The letting go and the knowingness that my will, sorry, my brain has been a little bit disconnected this couple of weeks. It's like my will or thine will. What is my will and what is thy will? In other words, what is the universe really want for highest and best? I had prayed for years that my highest and best would be activated. I used to jokingly say to my classes, I pray for this and then I duck. And what I mean when I say I duck, because I never know what's going to be presented to me. That could be the 16. It's like when you are aware that if you want to grow, if you want to move and have changes in your life, hand it over to the power and then say, thy will be done, as they have in the Christians form they do. Thy will be done. Well, I'm like to be a little bit more commending, but it's like being open to change, letting go of rigid beliefs are real important as far as I'm concerned. And yet in letting go of some of the rigidity I had, I ran into other ones that became a part of me that you could say are rigid, but they're more open-ended, I like to think anyway. So in this treatment of being is the recognizing that you are loved beyond measure, but you must allow that energy to take and bring to you what is your highest and best at this point of time. Maybe not forever, but it is the recognition that this force works for you. We are all loved, and we are all loved equally, as far as I'm concerned. But do we allow that? Do we accept it? Do we bring it in? And know that our highest and best is always activated, even when it doesn't appear like it, because sometimes these things happen to open the doors for greater things. And with you, and I would just say, take a look at where you really get like, this is it. This is how it's going to be. Rigidity does not work well with the universal law of love. Does not. Except knowing that it exists. But it's not rigid because it's working for your highest and best on your path. I give thanks and knowing for Paulie that his path is in part of the knowingness of the line, the design for the greater good of Paulie. That no matter what, he will understand and be aware that this is just a little step, a letting go to be able to really move forward easily. I give thanks and the gentleness. I actually pray for gentleness for you, that the transition is gentle. And in that gentleness, everything is at one. So I give thanks by saying, and so it is, as I release and let go. Okay, where are we here? There we go. Maggie says, thank you. Yvonne says, thank you. Karen says, beautiful and on point. Thank you. Hello, Miss Jeannie Martin. She says, hello. Paulie Smart says, prayers for Oscar. Yes. Kayla says, thank you. I agree with those thoughts and prayers. Karen B again, thank you so much. And slowly and surely will be a wonderful journey ahead for all of us, it really is. Karen F. Switch. Sorry, but all these Karens, I do have to use that last name because we have so many Karens now. I just love it. Karen F. Switching from nursing to teaching thoughts about job outlook, 11, 22, and 6. Okay. Well, first of all, 11 to me always represents a commitment to your journey. So your commitment to teaching, yeah. 22 says have, it's like the fool, having faith, doing what you got to do, applicate whatever you got to do, you do it out. And the only thing is 6 is don't get nervous because it doesn't look like anything's going to happen. You've got everything lined up here, I think. But, we get nervous if it's not cemented, if it's not exactly right, if it isn't in the awareness or something's a little off. So hang on a minute. I just want to make sure I'm in the right place. Yes. I like a lot of this. I really do. It feels good. And just the 6 shows my inner quakiness is about, I'm not certain about that it's going to come true. And I'm going to say, by the looks of this, if you're committed to your change, that's all really, and you have faith in yourself, that's going to work. So let's have a look in treatment. I know there is one power and one essence. And I know as I speak my word for Karen F., that the transition that she is looking for from nursing to teaching is there for her. But the little voice, the little fear, the little anxiety just needs to be quelled. Maybe put it in a corner, or you think of like when you have a little pup, you want to have a little house for the pup to put in. Just get it over there so it's not up in front. Because to me, as we look within the universe, you've put your order in, you know what you want, and the hardest thing is walking that path knowing that it is true. And you've got to believe if that's what you want, and there's no ifs, ands, and buts, it will be. So it is the one step in front of the other in the commitment with faith, belief that, yes, this will occur. There should be no doubt, and acceptance and giving thanks every day for this, because it is what you want. Anything else is going to natter at the edges of it and will make things really not as pleasant as easy, but it looks fine. It really looks good, except the little niggly voices. I give thanks in the knowingness for Karen F. that the transition in her work life will occur and that she will be gratified and feel complete, and that it will all unfold exactly as required. And I give thanks in this as I release this by saying, and so it is. Amen. Blessings to you. Paulie says, this makes sense to me. I think it says perfect prayer. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's what I want. It doesn't look like I got anything more in that. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. And guess what? Our timing's about right too. So that's excellent. A couple of new names. But that's good to know. I like to know that. By the way, I really, over the 3 shows that I do in a week, the comments are really important to me when you think thanks, Karen F. What's the word I want to say? The comments that come in from the different shows really mean a lot to me. I've just seen one coming in, so I'm going to address that in a minute. And also if you want me specifically to talk on something, especially on the Wednesday show, please write about it, because to me, say, I would really like to know more about this or that, because then that gives me something to really concentrate on and think about it and be able to put something together to present to you, which is great. Okay, I've got another one that just popped in. Bernard. Hello, Norma. Can you give me a general reading, please? 327. Oh, this is a prayer one, but I do use my numbers for prayers. So, Bernard, we'll just add it. And it's nicer if I have a specific question what it relates to, but let's see what this is. 3 is love, 2 is decision, and 7 is leaving behind the old. There's change around you. And in the change, both the 2 and the 7 talk about change. 2 is the decision. Do we do this or do we not do this? But your leading number 3 is the universal love number of everything being in its place, everything working. So you have to decide whether you want to grab this or not. If you grab it, whatever this love is that's waiting for you to decide if you want it or not, then you have to leave certain beliefs, attitudes, maybe people behind. And that's one of the things you have to decide. Your whole thing here rests on the decision. Do you want to take the love and move forward with it? Love, whatever that love represents, whatever that is, it's up to you. You're the key. Because if you choose it, your life will not be the same. You'll be moving into new territory, and lots of new and other things will be happening. So that's my reading. So in treatment, I'm doing a treatment for this, you have strength to understand exactly what it is you want. So you can move forward with this. It is up to you to choose. But I know that if you really listen into your heart, you will know what to choose. So I give thanks in that knowingness as we move forward. And I thank you guys. I really do. I trust you have a nice, rest of the week. I'll be back on Wednesday morning with part 2 of my last talk on belief and faith, on faith actually. But anyway, but usual times, usual places. You be well. Enjoy life. Just know that all is well. Remember this, the universal love energy has your back. Trust. Bye now. Thank you.